Hey guys, welcome back to the Kai Show. Today we have a special guest who you might know around Regina or TikTok. Drum roll please. Ryan Doka. Hey Ryan, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing really good, Kai. Thanks for having me. You know, it's been a wild day so far, but I'm glad I'm here. That's all I can really say.
So for the people who don't know you or what you do, could you give us a little sneak peek in your life and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm a TikToker here in Regina. I have about 2.2 million followers on the app, which is crazy. And a lot of what I do is based solely off of kind of putting things in jars for a long amount of time and then tasting them and seeing if they work or if they don't work.
Yep, a jar like that.
Almost exactly like this.
Okay, now let's get into the first question. Why do you choose to drink the concoctions you make when you're done?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I decided I wanted to do that because some of them I knew were going to be really, really bad, and I wanted to give an authentic reaction because I thought, yeah, it's kind of cool seeing the things that happen in the jars sometimes, but I want to dive deep and actually experience what's happening in the jars.
Can't drink all of it, you got that acid stuff or whatever.
That is true. Those ones I try to not ingest, but I did get it in my eye one time and that was terrible.
What was the journey like through YouTube and TikTok?
Oh wow, way different. YouTube was really my first kind of start at creating videos, and I really had no plan of what I was doing. Long form content, of course, is much different than what today is with short form, but I had no plan going into YouTube, and it was such a very, very slow growth. And I was super duper young. I think I was like 15 or maybe even 14. And moving into TikTok after I took, I think, like a 7-year break, it was really fun to realize that the short form content is really where I strive, because a lot of people don't have hours to watch content. So with my expertise over the years, I was able to transfer over to short form content. And the difference between it is just you can put up so many more things and it's such less time constraints.
Yeah, and you played well on the TikTok part right when it was on its rise.
Exactly.
You joined it and yeah, started making videos, which the short form content is way better because people have more time.
Absolutely.
Not more time, but less time, and they can just watch a quick video, maybe see you.
I hope they do.
What advice would you give to a creator trying to start a page or has been doing it for a while and wants to give up?
Never give up. That's the biggest thing, is never giving up, because if you are starting out and you find that over the first 3 months nothing's really kicking off. For me, for example, when I started on TikTok, I had no idea how to do it. So I think it was the first 3 months nothing really hit off, and I could have easily been like, I'll throw in the towel, my jig is up here. But what I did was I looked in my analytics, and what I think everybody should do is there's a tool that's called analytics or insights that you can look into and see exactly what people are liking about your videos or what they're kind of responding to. And you can look into those and see what kind of content you should make more of. And that's kind of what I did.
Yeah, and the analytics where you can see how long they watch until they stop or where they start and stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, let's get into the more serious questions now. If the viewers don't already know, you were suspended from TikTok a few weeks ago. How has that affected your relationship with TikTok? And will you keep using that platform?
You know what? That's a good one. I did get suspended from TikTok. It was about a 3-day ban, and I'm on kind of thin water right now, or thin ice. If I do anything that's a little bit dangerous, I could be permanently banned, which is wild to think about. The way that it affected my relationship is it's kind of allowed me to look deeper into what the rules are, the guidelines, so I can follow them a lot closer. It's definitely changed my strategy for creation. So instead of being, of course, alcohol and, you know, kind of danger related, I'm now moving into a different scene, which is actually upcoming in the next maybe 3 weeks. You know what? You get a first inside scoop. I'm moving away from alcohol and I'm moving towards water infusion.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like bubbly water or no?
Maybe. We'll see.
Has the ban affected your ability to post videos as confident? Have you had to kind of hold back on some videos, and have you delayed posting videos because you are worried about the guidelines?
These are really good questions. Yes. Of course, when I do my videos, what I would typically do is record about 14 to even 20 in a day. And then I would wait over time, the week or the month, and I would film the end result, edit it all together, and then I would have so much time to upload. Now, all the videos that I've done prior to this ban, I actually have been more wary, and I don't want to really put out some of the content, like for example, the pumpkins. There's 2 that don't actually involve any sort of alcohol or really any danger other than like knives, which you need to carve a pumpkin, I think. And I don't want to put those out just because, although they're safe, it involves a knife.
And you never know.
And you really never know. So yeah, there's so many that I'm just like, I'm not going to post these on TikTok, which is crazy.
Yeah. And speaking of TikTok, how does it feel to have 2 million fans on there? And how does that affect you in general?
It is wild. It blows my mind that sometimes I'll walk into an establishment or a place, even out of this city, and people will know me. And they'll be like, hey, it's Ryan, it's the jar guy. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. The way that it's really affected me, though, is it's allowed me to reflect upon my past self and my past experiences. Back in the day when I first started on YouTube and I got to about 160,000 subscribers, I was a completely different person. I like to think that, I call it the Justin Bieber effect. If you get really famous when you're really young and don't know what you're doing, you can kind of let that control you and how you treat other people. So to put it lightly, I was a little bit of a dink to people, and I thought I was better than everybody else. Coming in now in the 2.2, I think 2.3 by the end of the day, who knows, million followers on another app. Now that I'm a more conscious adult and I can think of other people and how I affect them, I just want to stay humble the entire way through. And even if I got to 10 million, I'm still gonna have the same personality of giving positive insights and being just a genuine guy, I suppose.
Has your fan base affected, even with comments or anything, your confidence in a good way or a bad way?
That's a really interesting question. Back in the day, I think on YouTube it kind of did affect me a little bit. I'd have to look at mean or negative comments and be like, oh, I can't deal with this. But then I remember this really awesome moment with my mom. We were on YouTube watching some of my comments on a singing video, and we read one that was like, oh, this guy's voice makes it sound like, or it makes me feel like I want to touch like a doorknob with fuzzy socks and like electrocute myself. And we were laughing for the longest time. And I think that was a pivotal moment to kind of not be affected by comments anymore. I still read every comment that I can, but even negative ones, I like to think about them in a positive way of, although this person may have been angry, I don't know what I did to anger this person, but it's just something that I don't let affect me now, I guess, as a person.
Yeah, and it's always good to look at the comments to make your content better for the next. Exactly,
and the more negative stuff you get and the more you can deal with it, the better you can actually get at dealing with it.
Mm-hmm. Alright, we've talked enough about TikTok. Let's talk about YouTube. What are your thoughts on YouTube, and how has your experience and timeline been with them?
So YouTube is interesting. My experience with them was really, really good up until they changed everything in like 2014 or 2015. What I did on YouTube way back that I don't think you can even find the videos anymore was I would do eating challenges. One that I did was like a warhead challenge, got like 4-point-some million views. It was crazy. But it kind of spiraled into this crazy thing where I would find myself eating certain items and they would be gross and I would throw up everywhere. 2015 or 2016 rolls around on YouTube. They changed it so that you couldn't actually post anything that was involving the outburst of chunks. So all of my videos in succession without any warning got removed and terminated, which resulted in me getting 3 strikes, which meant that my channel actually got terminated completely. And I was like, no, this is terrible. That was kind of the pivotal moment to where I really stopped uploading on YouTube. But then very recently, as you may know, that they just came out not too long ago with YouTube Shorts, which is, I guess, a competitor to TikTok and Instagram Reels. And now all I can think about is jumping back in there. I may not be good at long form content again, but I might dive into the short form.
And I know on your YouTube you kind of post TikToks, like just get it out there on YouTube to get more, obviously, people watching, but yeah. What like equipment do you use, and what like is it simple for you? And yeah.
Yeah, I like to leave everything as simple as possible. So this literally is all I use to film any of my stuff. It's just an iPhone that I got, I think, last year. I don't think anybody really needs expensive equipment to make quality videos. It's really the character that you portray. And I mean, the only thing you really need is good lighting. And maybe audio. But even the audio on like a cell phone now is perfect. But for my lighting, I really just have like cheap ring lights.
Yeah, makes sense. It's all about the personality. It's all about maybe you want to record on a TV camera or something.
Oh yeah, you don't want to go on like the old school film cameras.
Yeah. What are your goals for the future, and where do you see yourself in 1 year?
Oof. Dang. I think the near future, I would love to hit the 5 million follower mark on TikTok. And I think within a year, I would love to see myself doing a lot more styles of video and not be typecasted as a guy who just puts things in jars. So that's where that series comes in. But I also want to give back to the community by doing more, I guess, charitable things. I just recently did one for Stars Air Ambulance. That was like the first thing I was ever invited to, and I felt like, oh, I'm making a difference. And it felt really good to do that, and I just want to do a lot more of those.
Yeah, you want to expand your content to more wider views.
Yeah.
Kind of like Mr. Beast, you want to give back?
If I had half the money of Mr. Beast, yes.
If you could go back 10 years and know the stuff you know now, would you change anything?
I mean, maybe a little bit. I kind of like the grind of learning something from scratch. When it comes down to what I know now, definitely it would influence what I would have made back then. Like I know now that people need to know everything within the first 3 seconds because we're basically all like goldfish brain, including myself. So all the information up front and then just expand on it and make it really, really interesting. Almost like no dead spaces.
Makes sense. Where does your inspiration for your experiments come from?
So that one kind of comes into a wild area. A lot of what I do comes down to just my own brain and kind of how I think of things. The jar videos, for example, that came to me randomly without knowing that anybody else did this. And it was on a podcast with my friends. My friend Brady, we wanted to have like this weird segment where we left things in like Monster Energy drinks, and that was a whole kerfluffle. But I thought the way that we were doing it could have been expanded on, but I didn't have an outlet to do it yet because the podcast was like a year prior to TikTok. And then I got the wise idea to do it the way that I wanted to do it. And I think a week after I made the videos, I saw that a YouTuber, a big YouTube channel called Good Mythical Morning, did the same thing, and I was like, oh, content I can build upon. So that's kind of where I get the inspiration for those from.
And I bet that video of theirs was just a one-time thing, like experiment kind of thing, and then they put it to the side, but you could use that as a base to build off of.
Yeah, they did a couple things. They did the first one with like bleach, and then they went into actually acid at one point. But it's just one specific thing, and then they leave it, and it's like a 14-minute video.
Then you can build off of it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's end off with a serious question. How did social media define your personality, and how did that change the way you act today?
Whew, getting those deep questions, I like it. So social media, I guess before social media and before I did YouTube, I was actually a very much nobody person, I think. I didn't have really many hobbies other than I liked playing video games, but once social media really hit the fan and I started getting a little bit of attention and traction, it kind of changed me in a way of I want to make sure that everything that I do has a positive influence on every action I take. I always catch myself before I like do anything, and I'm like, is this for the greater good of humanity? I don't know. But it just makes me a little bit more cautious because I know that things can be taken out of perspective, or now that I have a lot of people watching me, I want to make sure that I am being the best role model for especially young folks, and I'm not doing too many crazy things that could get them, I guess, hurt.
Yeah, and you have a big influence with the amount of people who follow you. All right, before we end off, how do people find you, and if they wanted to join your community, how would they do that?
You can find me at Doka Ryan on literally everything. Just launched a website, dokaryan.com, which is awesome. It might have a couple bugs, but we'll fix them. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and that'll all be linked in the description. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on The Kai Show.